And I have an individual one for each of you, and I'll start with you, Mr. Kaplowitz.
Sure.
Your opponent has repeatedly said this evening you're the Shelley Silver of White Plains. You yourself have said that leadership is the problem in Albany. Leadership is controlled by the Democratic Party in both the Assembly, State Senate, and in the governor's office. I'm curious, when you're called the Shelley Silver of White Plains, do you take that as a compliment or an insult?
I think it's given, and sometimes it's hard to follow Mr. Ball's logic and his mind, but what I think he's doing it is in a pejorative sense. This is what I've done.
I can assure you he is. Yeah.
I think so, too. What I have demonstrated, sir, is that when I butted heads with Chairman Ryan, he cut my office in half and tried to take away my vice chairmanship.
You gave him a raise.
When I voted against his raises,
you gave him
it was
a raise.
Because, sir, please.
We're really tight on time, guys. We got to get to closing statements. Go ahead.
When I voted against his raises and all pays raises for myself, I didn't make a lot of friends. When County Executive Spano and I went butt-to-head on a number of issues, from suing an accounting firm over the medical center, to our early positions on Indian Point, to budgets year after year after year, to spending and other economic policies, I stood up, he stood up, but, sir, I was independent. And so when I go up to Albany, you know what? You got to work with everybody. And we're running for the Senate. He did a really bad, no excuses job in the Assembly. But, sir, I'm not going to comment on what that means. That's up to him. What I am going to comment on is my leadership, my demonstrated independence. I'm fiercely independent, and that's not changing.
Okay, Greg, Mr. Ball, final question for you. Tonight, you said, guys, we got a minute, all right? You've said that you're proudly anti-establishment.
Yeah.
You're on record as saying government's the problem, not the solution.
Absolutely.
You said you're such a threat. Your own party spent $2 million to take you out. My question is, why do you want the job if Albany's such a mess?
You want me to tell you guys on the truth that politics is disgusting. This isn't about wanting the job, and I don't intend to be a state senator for many years. We have zero time in this state. The reforms that I'm talking about tonight, the dance that he's making, should have been done 15 to 20 years ago. I look forward to going to Albany, possibly for a single term, and turning that city on its head. Capping property taxes, freezing school tax for seniors, repealing the MTA payroll tax. And it is going to take truly independent leadership. He talks about, sure, he had a deathbed conversion in the past year. He voted to give Andy Spano a raise. He rubber-stamped the affordable housing deal. He rubber-stamped over $1 billion in new spending. He increased taxes as chairman by over 84%. There wasn't a hoop that Andy Spano held up that this Sheldon Silver White Plains didn't jump through. He was the toy poodle for Bill Ryan and Andy Spano. And I have proven in my willingness to stand up to powerful people like Sheldon Silver, like Joe Bruno, who have then targeted me over the past 4 years, that when I arrive in that state senate.
But will you try, if you get to the state senate, if the folks elect you, will you bring the same attitude you took to the assembly, which you defined, you don't go across party lines, your own party leadership wasn't fond of you, how will you be an effective lawmaker if you don't have any friends? I am
in the perfect, this district is absolutely.
Please let the candidate answer.
This district is in the perfect opportunity. I'm in a perfect opportunity that I have been, to this point, able to progress in politics with my integrity intact. My own party spent over $2 million against me. So I will arrive in Albany beholden to only the voters and the constituents and the taxpayers in this district. But as an assemblyman who stood up, I have learned some lessons. And I have learned as a young leader, and in me, they also have a leader who's willing to stand up, but who's also, with the scar tissue on my back, you don't have to fight every single battle. So I'll arrive in the state senate not only to fight, but to lead, not to be a toy poodle like my opponent.
Now, we're at the